Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and the Ninjago January 2024 wave has been officially revealed, as well as one of the sets coming out on March 1st, 2024. Now, I got a chance to get hands-on with these sets over at LEGO Fan Media Days in Billund, Denmark back in September, but unfortunately, I can't publish my coverage of those sets and interviews until these sets are actually published on LEGO.com officially. I have no idea when that's supposed to be because it was supposed to be earlier today or tomorrow, so at this point, I'm kind of just refreshing the site to wait to see when I can post that interview, but in the meantime, we are allowed to cover the set images themselves, which have been posted by a German LEGO retailer. Of course, throughout this video, I'll be sharing my own personal thoughts on these sets themselves, going through each and every single one of them, and of course sharing a lot of the sets that we didn't even get to see at all during Fan Media Days, and stay tuned for sometime in the future, whenever they actually update LEGO.com with these set images, so I can actually go ahead and post my full-on interview with the designers of these brand new Ninjago sets and showcase what they look like to play with hands-on. And so, without further ado, let's jump up, kick back, whip around and spin and check out the January and 1 March 2024 LEGO Ninjago sets. Okay, so first off, we have 3 gimmick sets. These all retail for around $11 or 11 euros, and they are the Rising Dragon Strike sets. One for Kai, one for Nia, and one for Aaron. Personally, I think it would have been really cool to get one for Lloyd and one for Sora as well, but I understand if they only had 3 to go with, these 3 seem about as good of a choice as any. Now, personally, I'm not 100% clear on what exactly the gimmick is here. During our Fan Media Days presentation about the sets, we learned that inside the dragon heads are dragon energy cores, so I guess part of the gimmick is that maybe these are launchers, where if you open up the head, they can launch the spheres outwards, almost like Zammersphere launchers from Bionicle. Not really clear on how that's exactly going to work based on how these sets look, but they definitely look interesting. Honestly though, I feel like they're not necessarily my cup of tea in terms of the aesthetics of the gimmick sets themselves. Just the way the back pieces are mounted feels a little bit awkward to me. There's some sort of mechanism going on with the back tail. I'm guessing that maybe you can like push the back tail down and then cause the mouth to open up and launch the ball out. I definitely would have to see this in action to really be able to judge exactly how good these are, but aesthetically speaking, they're honestly just okay. Mostly though, the wings are really cool. I like the new dragon wing elements, and I definitely feel like those are going to be useful for other dragon mucks. Now, they do give us our first look at the villains as well, a legion of humans wearing wolf warrior masks. More on them when we actually publish our interview with the set designers themselves. The 3 ninja for these packs get 3 new outfits. They are very similar to their mech outfits and the mech suits that they're getting for the other sets in the wave, but this time they have actual gold wraps around the sides of the heads, which are a little bit more interesting and make them feel that much more fancy. The next set is a 4+ set. We have Aaron's Battle Mech 71804. This retails for $15 US, releases in January with around 104 pieces, and as a 4+ set, it's okay. Honestly, it's not the best, it's not the worst. I definitely feel like there have been way goofier 4+ mechs like the Legacy Jay's mech, and I actually kind of like the little side build with the Gong of Shattering, which we'll hear a lot more about with their interviews, as well as a very nice opalescent glitter satin rock element, which was introduced in the LEGO Disney Princess Enchanted Treehouse earlier this year. It's a really cool piece, and I just overall like the look of the villains of this particular wave, but it's a 4+ set, so honestly, not much to say there. The next one is 71805 Jay's Battle Mech. This retails for $11 US, and this comes with Jay, Master Lloyd, which is a really cool looking minifigure, as well as 2 of the villains, Wolf Mask Claw Warrior and Wolf Mask Guard. I'm gonna be completely honest. This mech is not really doing it for me. It kind of reminds me of the Polybag Jay's mech from Tournament of Elements, but I actually kind of like the proportions of that one more because it had these very unique proportions to it. This one almost feels like they're using too bulky of a large upper piece on the top, and then the lower legs and arms are just way too spindly. It's just a very weird little set, and definitely feels like it's supposed to be a Ninjago battle pack of some sorts, which personally I find really interesting. Like, this is called a battle pack, which suggests that it's supposed to be a Ninjago battle pack, and yet it comes with 2 named characters, one character in an outfit that seems to be pretty significant and important, so it's not like a character you can army build. The 2 wolf warriors are great, but I almost feel like this set should have just been either a wolf battle pack, giving us 4 wolf people. I think that would have been a really popular set, because then we could have just built up a whole army of these characters, or maybe and as good as the Sensei Lloyd minifigure is, not included the Master Lloyd and just included a third villain to allow you to really be able to army build them if it is supposed to be a battle pack. As it stands, this kinda reminds me of the LEGO Star Wars Jedi and Clone Trooper battle pack, which had two really great minifigures for army building and then two specific named characters that were not useful whatsoever for getting multiple quantities of. Otherwise though, I think it's cool that we're getting an official battle pack for Ninjago, and hopefully this means we'll get more stuff like it in the future, albeit hopefully a little more fine-tuned to actually being able to army build. Now the next set here is 71806 Cole's Earth Mech, which retails for $20 US. Now this is one of my favorites of the new wave. I love the proportions of it, and I really love how they were able to build in Cole's lava arms into the mech itself. They actually said that his elemental form of the rock form in Dragon's Rising Season 1 was based off of the form factor of this mech, and I think it really shows how they were trying to capture the very bulky essence of Cole, but this is, of course, a full-on mech. You can already see a couple of new elements being introduced for Ninjago Core. There is a brand new larger scale armor piece being introduced, and there's another piece in here that's brand new as well, which is allowing you to actually swap out ratchet joints horizontally. It's a little bit hard to explain without visually seeing it, but again, you'll have to wait for the interview to get a closer look at that. For 20 bucks, this does feature Cole in his brand new suit, as well as one of the Wolf Warriors, and while Cole in the suit is a little mixed. He obviously has printed legs. I know there was a lot of panic and a whole debacle going around about how Cole leaked earlier and he had just plain legs, and a lot of people were worried about that, and I was biting my tongue just not wanting to say like, hey, no guys, he actually has printed legs. But I'm gonna be honest, I still am not the biggest fan of this particular outfit for Cole. I think it's just the predominantly orange mask that isn't really doing it for me. It looks okay from the front, but from the back the mask is very orange, and I definitely don't know how I feel about that, but I'm gonna wait and see until I have the figure in hand. Moving onwards, we have Sora's Elemental Tech Mech, retailing for $20 as well. This is 71807 with 209 pieces. This is a really nice looking mech. I again love Sora's color scheme. I feel like her original mech that we got for this year was a little bit more unique in terms of shaping, but I do love the overall color scheme and color blocking of this particular mech. The trans pink razor saw is really cool. I love the Wolf Warrior with the little jetpack, and I even really like the side build of this small little tree where you can actually mount the Wolf Warrior on one of the transparent pieces and making it look like it's flying. Overall, there's nothing super revolutionary going on with the building techniques of this particular mech, but it's just another standard good-looking color scheme for a Ninjago mech, and that's pretty much all I have to say. It's a shame though that we didn't get a brand new mech suit outfit for Sora. She is just using her regular outfit with this time a half mask and the hair, so there isn't really anything new going on with the minifigure itself, but it is still nice to get her, and I do feel it's a little odd that the new ninja do not get new outfits for this particular wave. Aaron himself does get a new hood, but no new torso, and it looks like Sora doesn't even get a new hood, so I'm curious as to why they chose not to do it for the new characters, but maybe they just wanted to focus on giving the standard ninja their own suits and keep the other new characters on their own. The next set is a bit of a mech battle pack. This is 71808 Kai's Fire Mech, retailing for $30 US, and I love this set because we get a pretty substantial wolf mech build in it as well, which just looks really fantastic with the very spindly limbs. Honestly, I kinda like the wolf mech best out of a lot of the mechs revealed so far. I feel like they really nailed the proportions using the mixel joints, and it feels very menacing and lanky as a wolf-styled mech despite being the side build of the set itself. The set includes Kai and Zane in mech pilot outfits, despite Zane not having a mech to himself this wave, as well as Jordana, who does appear for the first time in minifigure form for this wave, plus one of the generic Wolf Warriors, and Kai's mech is appropriately armored up. I like the recolor of the new Ice and Lightning piece in transparent orange for fire, and overall the color scheme is pretty solid. It's just another Kai mech. Nothing super crazy going on with it, but I think it just is a nice evolution of the core system, and does feel very suitably bulky and armored up, compared to a lot of other Ninjago mechs we've gotten in the past. Now, the next set here, we are getting Egalt the Master Dragon. This is one of the only sets for this upcoming wave that is super relevant to the new TV show. This is set number 71809, retailing for $65 US or 65 euros, and coming with 532 pieces. Now, I love this new dragon because it's wearing a Master Wu style conical hat, which is really funny. The color scheme itself is kind of a mashup between Wu and Garmadon's, which I find really interesting, how it is a sensei-like dragon, Dragon, and the set comes with Lloyd, Nia in mech battle outfits, as well as Sora, Lord Raz, and Cinder, who is the new elemental master of smoke. No idea what happened to Ash. Is Ash dead? I don't know. I'm actually very curious if they're ever going to actually address that. Unfortunately for this particular version of Raz, he does not have arm printing anymore, which is a bit of a disappointment because it was really cool to get arm printing for him when we first got him this year, but I think it's still a decent looking minifigure, and that dragon looks absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to show off more angles of it when we take a look at the set in hand, whenever I actually am able to publish my Ninjago Dragons Rising set designer interviews, but overall, this is a really cool looking set. The dragon has a mustache and a brand new molded headpiece, which is really cool looking, and easily I think this is the best set of the wave and is yet another phenomenal Ninjago dragon. Moving onwards, we have a couple of sets that I believe are actually coming out in March, as far as I can tell. One of them is Kai's Source Dragon Battle, set number 71815. It's kind of funny because the first time that we're getting a Source Dragon in the set is a 4+ set. Now, I don't think this is a canon set. I believe I was talking to the LEGO set designers and they alluded to the fact that either they were surprised that the set was eventually called Source Dragon Battle, or they had built a regular dragon and then marketers decided to name it Source Dragon. I don't know exactly what the story is behind that, but I'm pretty sure this is not actually a canon Source Dragon and it's just a dragon to be used in the 4+ lineup, where the 4+ lineup typically gives us non-canon sets. Now, I could be wrong on that, and this could actually feature in the show, but I really don't think this is actually what our first Source Dragon is going to look like in set form. Now this is really cool because this set actually reveals two new minifigures that I initially thought I wasn't going to be allowed to talk about, Climber Kai and Wildfire. They have a new mold for Wildfire's hairpiece, and Climber Kai gets a beautiful new dual molded armor piece in dark red and gold. Unfortunately, tragically, they are still using the system of Dragons Rising headpieces that does not allow you to turn their heads. So as beautiful as this piece is, I really like it, but unfortunately it doesn't look like I'm going to get much use out of it without having to actually damage or modify the armor piece, because it looks so good, but you can't turn their heads or really display them with hair with these armor pieces. So that to me is one of the biggest cons of the Dragons Rising suits. It's not bad, it's a beautiful new dual molded piece, but I just wish you could actually turn the heads with that and have the mask piece be separate from the armor, because imagine if we just got that as an armor piece. That would be so cool. Wildfire, however, is looking really nice. I love the new hairpiece they introduced for her, and honestly, I kinda like this set. Like, I know it's a 4+ set, but don't get me wrong here, it's very juniorized, but I feel like it might be one of the best 4+ sets we've gotten maybe ever. The dragon actually looks kind of good for being a 4+ set. I think a lot of that is owed to the large wingspan, 4 wings. Now, the legs, I was talking to Sean Bricks by Mind about this, and he pointed out to me that the legs are the mech legs, and now I can't unsee that, and I don't really like the way the legs are done, but overall, if you kind of ignore the legs, I like everything else about the dragon, and for it being a 4+ set, I actually think it's not too bad. Now finally, there is one last set coming out in March that we know of so far. There are a couple more that are not to be revealed yet, but this is 71817 Lloyd's Elemental Power Mech, introducing Lloyd, Nia, and Cinder, so all minifigures that do appear in the Egalt set, which is a little interesting how it basically has a duplicate minifig selection, but the mech itself is pretty nice. I like the samurai vibe it's got going on, and on the back of the box you can actually see one of the gimmicks of the wave, which is that you can actually configure all the sets around each other to be able to mix and match pieces like the limbs, almost like Galador, if you remember Galador back in the day. Overall though, this set does retail for $30 US, so it is just another one of those mech sets that is just a larger scale of mech than we're used to for Ninjago. For this wave, it's a lot of mechs, nothing super crazy going on story-wise. I think the coolest thing going on in the background is illuminated by the silhouette of the moon. We can see the specter of some sort of temple in the background, which I suspect is going to be the massive evil villain dojo for the Wolf faction, which I'm very excited about because I have not seen that set yet, and I'm guessing that that's what that building is. But overall, this is just yet another one of the mechs. I think my favorite set revealed out of all of these is Egalt the Master Dragon, but I'm also really curious to hear what everybody else has to say about these brand new Ninjago sets, and definitely stay tuned because I cannot wait to actually post my interview with these set designers about these sets. That is going to be a really good video, and I just hope that LEGO.com will update and refresh to actually allow me to post that at some point in the future. That's all for now, and I hope you enjoyed this look at the Ninjago 2024 partial set lineup. Alright, and with that, we have taken a look at the brand new LEGO Ninjago sets for 2024. Obviously, there's a ton of mechs this wave, but this seems to be more of a wave that is mech-focused, with only just a couple of story-based sets, and then we're gonna get a lot more of the mainline TV show story-based sets later on in the future for March, and of course for the summer as well. But now, I hope you enjoyed our coverage of these brand new Ninjago sets. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of them? Do you like them? Do you dislike them? I personally really like the brand new pieces used to allow you to swap out the mech's limbs and really kind of play around with them, kind of just like Galador, and you'll learn about a little bit more of the inspiration behind that in our designer interview coming out at some point as well. But for now, thanks so much for tuning into Duck Bricks, and bye for now.